Hello, everyone. Welcome to today's podcast. Our guest of today is Bhas, and he's the CEO of Grafterr. And yeah, Bhas, why don't you tell a little bit more about yourself and about what your company is doing?
Hi, Joey. I'm Bas, as you already introduced. We at Grafterr, we build and we provide hospitality fintech solutions to our clients, end-to-end solutions from point of sale, self-kiosk, online ordering, and digital ordering, all under one ecosystem.
Very nice. And how long are you guys in the market for?
Our journey actually started in 19. We started our R&E when we saw the hospitality food businesses are using fragmented software solutions and they had buried themselves into unconnected data sets. We decided to bring an entire ecosystem of technology to help them run their business efficiently. We did our R&D during 2019, and we did first our pre-seed round during early 2020. That's when we actually, the day we got the funds into the bank account, the Prime Minister of UK declared lockdowns and the entire world is actually locked down. So that's our journey started. So yeah, it's brutal at the time, but it was transformational during that COVID periods as well. We learned a lot. We learned to be resilient. We learned to do things at speed, and we learned to be empathetic towards our clients as well.
I love what you're saying. You started 2019, 1 year later, COVID hits. And I think that's the beauty, but also you can say the beauty, like, I think it's all about perspective, right? Because when you're doing business, like, and in this podcast, a lot of founders are watching it, you never really know what the future is going to hold for you, right? You can have like the best product, but then boom, COVID hits and you have to adapt towards a new environment.
Absolutely. I totally agree with you. And I believe the challenge is not the competition for founders. In my opinion, founders actually love the competition and they actually get shaped by the competition. The challenge is these distractions. As you said, COVID and the changes in the world, what's happening, economy, company valuations are everything. These distractions actually is a challenge for founders. But at the same time, it's fun. It makes us, it transforms us and how we think and how we do the things differently.
Very nice. And I love the way you're viewing it. And how do you make sure, right? Because when we're doing business, it's part of like doing business, like a lot of challenges is coming on our way, right? And how do you make sure you keep your mindset like focused towards growing and transforming instead of like going into anxiety and fear, right? Because I think this is making the huge difference if a company actually succeed or not in the long term.
I know what you mean. It's just how I keep it basically is I cannot change some of the external factors and I accept it. When the COVID hit, we have to almost like 2 years of uncertainty, which we couldn't do anything about it. But what we did is basically during that period is matter, basically how do we adopt that change? But we actually innovated during that period. We introduced contactless ordering systems for our clients, digital ordering, online ordering platforms for our clients to make, their business super easy while they are also going through these outside challenges. It is during these difficult periods, I think keep thinking about innovation will actually help us grow out of that challenges.
Very nice. And then when you're looking at Grafterr and you're looking along the market, what makes you guys unique? If you compare you guys with other competitors who have like a similar kind of service.
Our competitors either is a software company or a payments company. They are either one of them. We actually is both. We are a technology company which embedding the FinTech into every element of the business, making our operators use our technology so simple, and in every step, the payment experience for the end user is even super easy. That's basically is a end-to-end technology. We are also an end-to-end provider. We actually consolidate different, for example, if I give you one, our clients use prior to coming to us, they use maybe 4 or 5 different software providers to run their business. Whereas when they come to us, we consolidate them all into one platform where they basically run the business from one single place. That's basically I would say, our unique competitive advantage. And with the introduction of AI into our products, we have further competitive advantage where we are solving the real world problems what our customers are facing.
Very nice. And let's say a company is like they're using a ton of different software, right, in their service. What is the biggest risk of a company doing that?
Unconnected data sets, I would say. You have a data in one platform and data in another platform. So you got three platforms. Let me give you an example. Let's say if our customers they sell for the customers who walk in or who dine in their location. They also sell to delivery customers or collection customers. They also sell in third-party platforms such as Uber Eats. They have different channels and different platforms. They use different software for everything. When we consolidate them into one data set, they can actually see all the reporting from one single place. They can actually make decisions based on those data sets, and they can actually improve their efficiencies and reduce any error, basically.
Very nice. Because it's all not really connected, it's pretty difficult as well to make a straightforward decision because you don't have insights in the data as easy as you would have everything in one place like you guys are having, right?
Absolutely. And furthermore, if it is like a large corporate, they might be using various different sets, but they have large teams to manage that data and then bring them all into together. But when it comes to hospitality businesses, that sector is made up of 70% SMBs, basically. They basically don't have that huge team or huge administration support for them. For them, it is even challenging than large corporates.
Yeah, very interesting. And you also mentioned in the beginning of the podcast, you're using AI in your service as well. And could you elaborate a little bit on that?
We are using AI not as a buzzword for sure. We are actually using AI to solve real-time, real-world problems for our customers. One of the recently we rolled out AI menu upload is called AI menu, wherein hospitality food businesses, they spend so many hours every month configuring their menu, updating their prices, changing promotions, deals, and all those things on a regular basis. And they spend tons of time on configuring that into different channels. If they're doing a promotion in one channel to another sales channel, they're spending a lot of time. So we rolled out this Grafterr AI menu where it helps their businesses to configure their menu with just scanning some image or a PDF document, and it goes to all the channels where they want it to publish. And then it do the thing where they might be doing like 20-30 hours. Now they can do it in 10 minutes, basically.
Very nice. And let's say with all the knowledge you're having right now, with all the lessons you've learned, challenges you've overcome, you already like mentioned some in the beginning. If you could go back in time and with all the knowledge you're having right now, if you can choose one thing which you would do differently with all the knowledge you're having right now, which one thing would you choose?
That's an interesting question. One thing to change is possibly customers. I would try to be more connected with customers during COVID times. What lessons learned during COVID times is we were a very small company and we didn't had a team to speak to our customers more empathetically. We were publishing information on our websites. We are sending the newsletters, but we didn't have time to pick up the phone and talk to them. Basically, they were in panic mode, and we would have actually done that. If I have to go back in time, maybe I'll recruit someone into my customer success, more team, and then basically help our customers during those periods even more with more empathy.
Very nice. And I mean, that's the part. Sometimes we can be so locked in our day-to-day business, and then when we look back, we learn a lot along the years. And I mean, you already mentioned on it, but if you could say one of the biggest challenges you overcame, and the biggest lesson you've learned of the challenge you've overcame, and then when you overcame this challenge, how did you learn? What is the golden lesson you've learned from overcoming this biggest challenge?
Yeah. So the biggest challenge I overcome is funding. So all the founders is the biggest challenge is the funding. Every other startup, we have the funding challenges. Now, we've overcome by actually getting into break even now, almost at break even. It feels so much better. We don't have to worry about the company going bust, our company going to fail. Die. Now, that's the biggest challenge I believe we overcome. It's a best place to be. Maybe in a couple of months, we'll be cash positive in the company. That's a best place to be. And then from there, we can build the company even with more greater confidence. That's, I would say, biggest challenge I overcome recently.
Very nice. And what are some of the ways you guys are using to acquire new customers?
We do mostly digital marketing to acquire customers. We do different channels. Various different, there are tons of digital marketing channels which we could adopt. We look at possible channels on monthly basis, quarterly basis, because it's all about data-driven decisions. wherein which channel is giving more conversions or more better customers. If, for example, now we have enterprise customer base as well. We have an enterprise platform which helps enterprise customers to reach out to enterprise customers. What are the best channels? Maybe LinkedIn could be the best channel rather than Instagram. So basically, we reach customers based on different channels and based on the data. So we don't stick to one channel, and we don't just go on it forever. We always, every 3 months, we review it, change our approach.
Very nice. Just being really open-minded and doubling down on what works and letting go of what doesn't. And let's say AI. You mentioned like, hey, we're using AI in our service as well. And it's pretty interesting how you were explaining it. And then my question to you is, because the business is pretty AI involved as well, where do you see AI going in the next 2 to 3 years? I mean, it's a difficult question to answer because we all don't know eventually, but where do you see like a direction?
I am quite optimistic about AI. I think there are, a lot of perceptions about AI everybody have, and I respect every point of view. People think AI will be, people lose jobs, or it will basically eventually eliminate human beings. But I think AI will make human beings with superpowers. It will give us superpowers, extra powers. As I said, we rolled out one new AI functionality. I'll tell you something, new functionality, new feature we are trying to bring into our product, which will help which we are about to roll out in next month or so, is something called dynamic price AI. This dynamic pricing AI is, if you look at hotels or airlines, the prices basically change literally every hour or every half an hour, even every 10 minutes, based on various factors. But if we look at our customers as a hospitality food businesses, their prices remain same throughout the month and throughout the year. At some places wherein they have fixed prices throughout, whether it is a busy period or off-peak periods, they have the same price. We are bringing our Grafterr dynamic pricing AI, which helps customers to actually, based on the factors such as weather, stock availability, peak periods, off-peak peak periods, it will adjust the pricing to optimize and get better, more sales to the merchants, and it will be win-win for consumers and car merchants as well. To answer the first question, as you said, AI in future will always, if we use the AI in a right way, we can solve those problems which humans couldn't able to solve in the past. Whether it is from, as I said, on my business as a company startup, what I'm doing, and also it is solving a lot of medical issues which human beings, vaccinations and other things, medical research. So I'm very optimistic, and what I see is AI is I want to embrace it, and AI for solving the real world problems, and I don't see AI as a buzzword anymore.
I love how you're saying it, because once, I think when something big, right, even with the internet like 20 years ago, you have two options, right? Or you can kind of resist it, or you can embrace it, and you will only ever see the opportunity if you start embracing it, right? But you won't even like see the options to develop yourself.
I totally agree with you.
Yeah, and Harry Potter, like you have a magic wand. Let's say this is a magic wand, this pen I'm having in my hand right now. And with this magic wand, you could solve any problem you're having in the business right now in just a second with this magic wand. What would you choose?
Yeah, more powerful AI.
Amazing. Let's say, what are some of the goals you guys are having in the next, let's say, 6 to 12 months from now?
Yeah, we have a very exciting journey. As I said, we will be at break even now very soon, and we'll be at cash positive in a month and a half to 2 months at most. That's a first thing we are going to achieve. Then we have actually, like, our customer base mainly is in UK. We are based in UK. Our customer base is across UK. We recently market tested our product in India. We are going for a initial results are amazing in India. And then we have market expansion ambitions as well. Because we'll be at break even, we are going for a fundraise very soon to help us accelerate our growth and bring that hyper growth through market expansion and all other areas. And our fund is going to be not to burn on day-to-day operation, but to actually bring the growth to the business.
Very nice. So it sounds like very exciting times ahead.
Yes, absolutely.
And for the people who are watching this podcast, right, I always like to ask this question. I think you're bringing a lot of value here. Like you said, a lot of really good stuff. If you could just mention one thing, one piece of advice you would give to these founders who are also like building, overcoming challenges, maybe even trying to get funded. As you said, it's one of the most difficult things when being a startup. Like, what would you advice to these founders and which they can start implementing straight away after the podcast?
Okay, I would say don't look AI as a fancy buzzword. Try to solve real world customer problems with AI, even if they are not very glamorous, but solve the real problems and bring real value to the people with AI. That will help shape the companies and it will help founders.
Very nice. And you're saying, I think this is a mistake maybe many founders make. We can be so passionate about something we discovered or about like our servers that we forget that's maybe not even solving a real world problem. I think this is like a problem many founders has made in the past. And how do you know if you're like so passionate, like how do you do your research about like knowing if it's actually a real problem or not that is relevant for the public?
Okay, if we know there is a problem, first of all, is we need to speak to the stakeholders. So having a problem is a perception, but to get that authentication for our idea, we need to speak to the stakeholders. The stakeholders could be, in my case, I speak to my customers, I speak to my consumers, end users, and we actually speak to market leaders and take different people's different opinions. And then once we got all the information and data from everyone, consolidate it, understand the problem, and then see how we could solve that problem, and then make like okay, if I bring this magic wand, as you said, like a dynamic pricing AI, will this solve your problem? I asked my customer and I gave them like a simple, informative, this one. And then I looked at it and yes, they said, yes, this will solve the problem. And this will actually increase our bottom line and, get us into more profitability. We would like to go. So I would say maybe same thing to my, fellow founders. Look at the real world problems, but always get the validation of it. Make sure you validate them.
Very nice. So don't just think it, right? You can think you have a problem, but that doesn't mean anything if you don't like look for proof into the real world. Stakeholders, like people you're working with, your clients, right? And for the people who are watching it, like how can they connect with you or Grafterr?
With Grafterr, I'm available on LinkedIn. So mostly I check at least 10 minutes in a day on my LinkedIn, and I accept most of my connection requests as long as they seems genuine. And if you want to reach me out, connect me in LinkedIn. I'm happy to connect with fellow founders. And if there is any, I won't say I'm a very intelligent guy, but I can share my experience if there is something I can help you out.
Very nice. Bhas, thanks so much for being here, for sharing all your value, your lessons, and your expertise about Grafterr. Everyone, thanks for tuning in. I'm going to make sure to put the descriptions to find Bhas and the company Grafterr in the description down below. Thanks everyone for watching and see you in the next episode.